surface. To get started with classic mode, you need to suspend your phone above your drawing surface. You can use something like a tall glass, a spray can, or better yet, one of our Vinci Eye phone stands. Links to these stands can be found in the app. If you're using a glass or a can, it's recommended to add a loop of painter's tape to the top and the bottom of the glass, so the phone stays in place when you touch it. If you're a lefty or a righty, it doesn't matter. You can position the phone any way that is easiest for you to draw. Now it's time to position your image on the paper. Press the Move button, and with one finger, you can move the image around. Using 2 fingers, you can enlarge, shrink, and even rotate the image relative to your paper. When you are done positioning your image, make sure to unpress the Move button. This locks your image in place so you can zoom in to draw fine details, or zoom out to see your drawing as a whole. To adjust the transparency or opacity of the image, press the Opacity button. This brings up the opacity slider. You can move the slider to make the image more or less transparent. You can also switch the opacity on and off using the opacity toggle. Now, let's check out some need-to-know features located in the Tools menu. If the camera seems blurry while you're drawing, go to Tools, then Camera, and then you'll be able to adjust the focus manually using the focus slider. To apply image filters, press Tools, then slide the menu all the way over to Filters, then press Filters. From here, you can do things like change your image to grayscale, add posterization, or blur. Next to filters is the breakdown tool. This lets you break down your image into layers or steps by color value. For experienced artists, it'll help you analyze the notan or structure and composition of your artwork. For beginners, it turns any image into a draw by numbers project. One of the most powerful tools in the app is the strobe feature. This tool slowly flashes the overlay image on and off. This allows you to easily compare color values of your reference image to your drawing. The last absolutely need-to-know feature is the record button. From there, you can record time-lapse videos of your drawings, just like these. Make sure if you post your time-lapse on social media to tag us for a repost. We're @DaVinciEye on all the social networks. If you need help with anything, press the question mark in the top right corner of the screen. From there, you can watch instructional videos, check out FAQs, or email us. We usually respond extremely fast to questions and feedback. And that wraps it up for our Classic Mode Quick Setup tutorial. For more in-depth videos, be sure to check out the instructional videos section of the app, or browse and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we have tips and tricks, live streams, and guest artists teaching drawing and painting techniques using Vinci Eye. get started with AR mode, you will need to create an anchor. An anchor locks your reference image in place so you can move your phone or your canvas, and as long as the anchor is in view of the camera, your reference image will align itself back perfectly with what you are drawing. To get started, take a business card-sized piece of paper or larger. Then take a black pen or marker and add lots of squiggles with many intersecting points and different shapes. The more tiny little details, the better the anchor will work. Also, the larger you make your anchor, the further away from your canvas you can have the phone and still have an accurate placement. It's a good idea to tape your anchor in place on your paper before you draw. This ensures that your reference image will always be in the right place. You should be prompted to make an anchor right away. However, if you want to make a new anchor, press Tools, then AR, then Anchors. To upload your anchor, press Add Anchor. Then press the purple button at the bottom of the screen to bring up the camera. Make sure your camera is perfectly level with the anchor. You don't want to have it tilted like this, or else it could distort your overlay image when it's virtually projected on your paper. When you're finished, press Use Photo in the bottom right corner of the screen. Next, you need to crop your photo. Drag the corners of the cropping frame to just inside the edges of your anchor. Make sure there is no background visible. The last step is to measure your anchor. Make sure that it is at least 3.5 inches wide. Take a ruler and measure your anchor's width. Then, type in the width and press Done. You should be brought back to the Anchor Manager screen. Here, you can press Done in the top left corner. Now your image should appear on top of the anchor whenever the anchor is in view of your camera. Do not try and hold the phone in your hand and draw. You can easily make a stand out of objects found around your house, like with tape and a tall spray can, a tall glass, or a vase. You can also purchase an inexpensive stand like this one. A link to stands that we recommend can be found in the app. Now it's time to position your image where you want it on the paper. Use 2 fingers to zoom out so you can see your paper as a whole. Then, press the Move button, and using 1 finger, you can pan your image. Using 2 fingers, you can enlarge, shrink, or rotate the image. When you have the image exactly where you want it, press the Move button again to lock the image in proportion. Now, you can zoom in to draw fine details, or you can zoom out to see your drawing as a whole. To make the image more or less transparent, you can press the Opacity button in the bottom right corner of the screen. You can use the slider to make your image more or less transparent, or you can use the opacity toggle to turn the image on and off. Now let's check out some of the need-to-know features located in the Tools menu. Once you have the phone set up, you can turn off the phone's autofocus by going to Tools, then AR, then Fix Focus. This will also refocus the camera to your paper if the camera is blurry. To apply image filters, press Tools, then slide the menu all the way over to Filters, then press Filters. From here, you can do things like change your image to grayscale, add posterization, or add blur. Next to Filters is the Breakdown tool. This lets you break down your image into layers or steps by color value. For experienced artists, it's a great way to help you analyze the no-tan or structure and composition of your artwork. For beginners, it turns any image into a draw by numbers tutorial. One of the most powerful tools in the app is the strobe feature. This tool slowly flashes the overlay image on and off. This makes it easier to see where you've drawn already and where you still need to draw, as well as helping you see what areas need to be lighter or darker. The last absolutely need-to-know feature is the Record button. From here, you can record time-lapse movies of your drawings without the overlay, just like this one. Make sure that if you post your time-lapse videos on social media to tag us for a repost. We're at Vinci Eye on all the social networks. We love to see what people are creating with the app. If you need help with anything, press the question mark button in the top right corner of the screen. From there, you can watch instructional videos on how to use the app, check out our FAQs page, or email us. We usually respond extremely fast and love to hear from artists and aspiring artists using the app. That wraps it up for the quick setup AR mode tutorial. For more in-depth videos, be sure to check out the instructional videos section of the app, or browse and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we have tips and tricks, live streams, and guest artists teaching drawing and painting tutorials using the app.
Hello and welcome to the Vinci Eye App YouTube channel live. I am Charity Low. I am a portrait artist. I am here to help you use the app to the fullest that it possibly can to get you some photorealistic portraits. I am just give me a second. I'm trying to find words. I'm very skilled at doing portraits of people and pets in pencil, graphite pencil, and colored pencil. But I am more than happy to do some other things, different mediums, different subjects. I've done fabric painting, glass painting, decorating cookies, quilling, use different mediums like soft pastel, watercolor, acrylic, pen. So, and wood burning. I've done wood burning too. So if there's something that you want me to get you started in, let me know. Also, for any future videos, if there's something that you want me to draw, I am willing to draw it for free. I will even send you the image when it's done. I'll send you the drawing. So right now we are doing a request from somebody, and they'll be getting this drawing when I'm done here. Yeah, and then don't hesitate to talk to me during the live. I can see the comments right beside me. So as soon as I see them, I will respond to them. I am here to help you. That's all I'm here for. So anyways, let's get started. Just give me a minute. So I'm gonna leave this for a second so I can show you some things about the app. So when you open it up, this is what you'll see on the front page. And this is a continuation of many days, many weeks of drawing on this. So we're going to go into projects, and then we're going to scroll down to what we are currently working on. Everything should realign for you. So this is great if, again, you're doing this for multiple days. So if you move here, I'm going to increase the opacity here so we can see it a bit better. So if you move your phone, as long as it can see the anchor, which is up here at the top, it will stay aligned. Let me just take this off here for a second. So, oh, why doesn't it say that? Just give me a minute. Let's go back. It's because I was pressing some weird buttons. So it will stay aligned. I don't know how well you can see it. But even if you tilt your phone, as long as it's seeing the anchor, it will adjust to those angles. So you can actually have your phone tilted or your drawing surface tilted, whatever is easiest for you to draw. Shouldn't be a problem at all. What I do is I like to have my drawing surface and my anchor taped to a clipboard. That way I can have more than one project going at a time. And that's really helpful for what I do, which is teach online and then once a week, and then I do something else. So anything else that I like? So go into tools. And then I go into breakdown mode. This is one of the first things I do. Turn it on, and it will give you step-by-step stencils of color value, which I use as like a base for my drawings. I have cut out off. So what that does, so you do a light layer first for the step 1, and then you go darker and darker as you go. The areas will get smaller and smaller. So you just slowly build up the shadowing. So that's just a good for like a basics base layer. And then you can go and do fine details over top of it, especially if it's graphite. It also really works well with watercolor too, to help build up the layers slowly. So we'll turn that off. The next thing I like to use, which we're going to currently use, is strobe. And I turn the opacity up to the fullest. This will give you, help you be able to see the differences between your drawing and the reference photo. So as you can see, you can zoom in to find details. It will stay aligned. Zoom out to see it as a whole. But yeah, that's it for the app so far. We'll get back to it when we get to drawing. The next things that I want to go over is the tools that I am using. Let me just organize them a little bit. I should have organized them before. So I have 4 graphite pencils. I have a 2H, HB, 6B, and 14B. You may not have all those pencils. You may have you might have a different pencil set than me. But essentially what you're going to do when you do get your own pencil set, let me see. I am also using this pencil set too, but so you get a brand new pencil set. You want to organize them from lightest to darkest. So like 4H, 3H, 2H, HB, B, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. You're going to want to choose the lightest pencil you have, which would be the H with the largest number. Then you want the medium pencil, which is the HB. You want your darkest pencil. So it will be B with the largest number. And then you want something in between HB and the darkest pencil you have, right smack dab in the middle. Those are how you're going to choose your pencils. So go choose your favorite art or drawing pencils, or the most affordable for you to start with. I recommend choosing an art. The only recommendations that I really have for pencils is that you choose pencils that brands that actually sell the pencils separately, like individually. That way you won't have a whole bunch of pencils that you won't use. But yeah, just so you know. So that's it for pencils. I like to have some blending stumps. Make sure you have a nice small one and a medium-sized one, and also some toilet paper for blending, or tissue paper. The tissue paper is good for large areas. The small blending stumps are great for smaller areas. I like to use my mechanical eraser. It's a very small one. This is Mono Zero. And a electric eraser. Electric erasers pick up a lot very quickly. And then a knead eraser, which is really good for like soft, picking up just very little bits of graphite at a time, having a soft edge. Other tools that I like to use are a gel pen for highlights, and also you can use a empty pen. Make sure it's empty by scribbling it on a lot, and then every time you do a piece, keep scribbling on it until it no longer has anything. But this is good for if you're using thick paper. You can indent the paper and preserve some thin lines, prevent them from getting dark. They'll preserve them as white. So these are really good for catch lights in the eyes and also whiskers on an animal. And then I use a sanding paper for two different things: to clean my blending stumps and also to make graphite powder. So makes it really good for backgrounds. The graphite powder is great for backgrounds with the use of a brush. I don't know if I locked my door, so I'll just leave it. Yeah, I did. Okay. Because there's a kid on the loose. I love her. I think that's it for materials. So let's get into drawing. So we have the entire half of her face left. The last thing we were working on was her nose, so we're going to continue doing that just to try to get it exactly the way we want it to be. So I have it on strobe, the opacity is to its fullest, and then we can get going. I'm going to start with the HB. I'm doing light pressure and circular motions. Okay, I also noticed something. You probably can see it too. It is blurry. So to fix that, since I can see that right now, so you're going into AR, go to AR, and then the lock focus. So you just turn that off, and then it will focus onto the image, and then you can lock it again if you find that your drawing is very blurry. And the reason why it was blurry is because it was locked on to the anchor while the camera was really close. That's why it did that in the first place, just so you know. We're just going to slowly build up the shadows and try to find all the little differences between your reference photo and your drawing at the same time. So I like to hold the pencil closer to the tip, or not the tip, the end of the pencil, and try to draw with the side of the pencil with light pressure and circular motions. This helps create a smooth texture, and then when you blend it, it makes it even better. Okay, I'm going to go in with a darker pencil now. So I'm going to use the 6B, which the most common one that you might have is a 4B. My daughter just thumping around the hallway in her boots. So I do have the reference photo printed onto a piece of paper as well, so I can take a look at that every so often. If you don't have a printer, you can always just have another device with the picture on it too. But if you don't, it's fine. You can still just use the app. It will be perfectly fine. I just find it's nicer to have multiple different types of mediums, or not mediums, like different image, different devices or pictures and stuff that are printed to be able to see a little bit better. So I'm going to take the toilet paper and wrap it around my finger. A tissue paper will work. And then just blend in circular motions for those little, like, for around the nose where it's more of like a line, just kind of follow that. But for some bigger areas, go ahead and just blend everywhere. I'm kind of using it as a drawing tool. So there is some graphite on the toilet paper right now, so I'm dragging it into some areas that are a little darker than they are right now. I'm going to take my mono eraser and get that little highlight that's just on the tip of the nose, just a little bit on the bridge of the nose too. Just a very fine line. There's also a little fine line just underneath the nose. You don't need to get it super bright, but I just wanted to get that on there. And then we do a little light line as well just above the nostril, and yeah, I don't like that word. And then I'm also going to use it to get that really bright highlight on the nose as well. And then we can take the, we can use the knead eraser for the rest that are not quite as bright. I like to have a nice rounded, let me show you, a nice rounded flat. Like it's flat this way, but it's rounded this way. So I can just dab onto it just using that little bit of eraser and place down and pick up just dab and pick up. We don't want to pick up too much, just a little bit. So it's not going to be as bright as those lines we did before. I'm going to take that 6B, which probably would be a 4B for you. I just want to make this little section right here just to pop out a little bit more. Just want to, I don't know the words. I haven't been good with words lately. I'm going to take the medium blending stump and kind of do circular motions but going upwards. I want to keep that line a little bit sharp that's underneath it. Okay, I'm going to take this brush. This is a really good thing to have. This is a horsehair brush, and it helps get rid of those eraser marks or little bits of pencils, like the little bits that are just floating, without smudging anything that you don't want smudged. I think the nose is good. I think we're ready to move on. I think we're gonna do with the next major facial features, which are the lips. For right now, I'm gonna turn off the strobe and turn down the opacity. The opacity just enough so that I can see my pencil. I'm gonna take my mechanical pencil and just do a light sketch of the lip line. I want to try to stay on the inner part where it's darker. I don't want to go on the outer part, if that makes any sense. Because sometimes I don't think I make any sense. I'm just tracing just the inner part where it's dark, not above it. And then I'm also going to trace the lip line right where the top lip meets the bottom lip, and it gets darker, like it's darker and then it gets lighter as it goes down. Just right in between the light and the dark where the lips meet. So I didn't put a lot of pressure on it. I just wanted to get a little bit of an outline before I go back into strobe. So let's turn that back on, turn the opacity to its fullest. And I think I might go and use, let's start with an HB pencil just to see if that's going to be dark enough. If not, we could always add more, or if it's too dark, we can always get rid of some. So we're just doing light pressure and circular motions, just trying to fill in the lips. We're just trying to get the right shade at this point for the majority of the lip. And then we can work on some more details later. So I think that's a good shade for like the lightest part of the lips. So we're going to move on to the 6B or 4B, depending on which set you have. This one is the second darkest pencil. So there's like a little bit of a triangular shaped lighter area of the lip on the bottom. So I'm going to try to work around that. So I'm mostly focusing on the outer and inner edges. Still light pressure and tight circular motions. And then I'm going to darken the upper lip. Now using the 14B, let's go straight into getting those really dark areas, right where the lips meet and just underneath it. And I'm doing more lines, more of a line work, initially that is. And then we can go back into the circular motions once I get that section separated pretty good. So it's more, we're doing more detailed work at this point. We're trying to get the texture of the lips while filling this in. We're going to take the small blending stump, and I'm doing circular motions and kind of at the same time a little bit of up and down from the center up away from the center, just to kind of create some textures in the lip. We may have made the lips ever so slightly darker than it needs to be. So we're gonna sculpt out a flat shape. I have like a rounded edge on the knead eraser, and just make sure it's the right size, like that fills it in pretty good. And then we're just dabbing and picking up. Dab. I'm dabbing very lightly because I don't want to pick up too much, just enough, just lightly. And if it stops being sticky, if it's not picking up anymore, just play around with the eraser some more and then reshape it. And then also just dab and pick up, and then we can go back into blending. I'm gonna clean my blending stump. I hold it on its side on the sandpaper and then rub it as I roll it around. I don't do it over top of my artwork because it just makes a mess, so I'm gonna do it just under my desk here. You can just rub it on some blank piece of paper too. It will clean it up a little bit, but this one cleans it off completely. So going back in there with the blending stump, trying to create some texture on the lips, having lines go from the center where the lips meet outwards, away from it. Let's darken it up some more. So let's take the 14B, or the 8B would be the most common one for you for your darkest pencil. So we're just darkening up where the lips meet. It's not dark enough, so we're gonna add some more. I hear you, baby girl, but not right now, honey. Mama. I know. Mama. Mama. I'm gonna go check to see what she wants. What'd she want? What do you need? You want your nails done? I can't do it right now, honey.
Yeah, Mom can do it later.
Okay. Love you, baby girl. Taking that small blending stump, I'm gonna slightly blend it in to the lip. We don't have to blend it in completely because they still want that texture. I'm going to take the Mono eraser and I'm going to pick up the highlights. There's a bit of a white line that just goes on the outer part, the edge of the lips. And then also a little bit above too. There's a little line there. And then there's a little highlight right here too, and a bit right here. Let's see, is there any other places that have a highlight? Right here as well. And I'm gonna put a few little textured highlights on the bottom lip, maybe a bit on the top lip too. For that little spot that I was trying to create texture, I'm going to go over it again with the blending step just to soften it up a little bit. And that's it. The lips are done. So let's work on the bigger sections like her cheek and her chin to kind of pull it all in together. We're almost done. Can you believe it? Might be a shorter video, who knows? So let's start with the cheek. I'm gonna zoom out so I can see the majority of that space there. Let's work with the HB pencil first. We can just slowly add on more to get it darker and darker as we go. So just light pressure, circular motions. I'm going to try to preserve the lightest areas that we see. And then we're shading in the rest. Something I forgot to mention is I am streaming this onto my TV that's above me. That's why I'm looking up instead of over to the phone, because that would be a lot of stretching. So if you want to do some bigger pieces, I recommend getting a cheap TV. It doesn't have to be a smart TV, and then get a Chromecast. And it will work. If you're using a smart TV, you don't need a Chromecast. Okay, some tissue paper. I'm going to wrap it around my finger, doing circular motions. And when I'm blending and trying to preserve the white areas, I kind of just go slightly over those white areas, not too much. And then I just go crazy all over everywhere else. That's, yeah. Just go crazy with the blending. I'm just going to move my finger into a different section on the blending, for blending on the tissue, and then just rub around the highlighted areas of the face so we can smooth that out too a little bit. Okay, now we're going to use the next softest pencil, which is a 6B for me, probably a 4B for you. Depends on what pencil set you get. And I'm just trying to see what areas need to be darker still. So I think it's pretty much all that we've done already, except for maybe a few little places. So just nice, tight, circular motions, light pressure, holding the pencil at the end instead of the tip, and trying to draw from the side of the pencil, not the tip of the pencil. Hello, nice to see ya. Also, the more layers you're able to put on it, the smoother the texture is going to be at the end. So we're not putting very much pressure, not much pressure at all. Okay, blending, wrapping your tissue around your finger, doing circular motions. You can go a little bit over where you preserved the whites just so that it has a nice transition. And moving the tissue paper onto a clean section around my finger. And we're just going to go over that white area, just try to soften it, blend it out just ever so slightly more. Let me see this. Is it just because the paper's bent? Yes. I bent the reference so it looks like there's highlights in places that's not supposed to have highlights. Okay, let's move on to the next softest pencil. This is the darkest pencil we have. A 14B for me, probably an 8B for you. It depends on which pencil set you got. Okay, now I'm kind of focusing more on the darker areas. Ones that are obviously much darker than the rest of the face. I am missing sound with my tablet. Messing around. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. My first off, the writing is so small. Second off, I'm dyslexic. Okay, I am messing around with my tablet. Oh boy. I need to have somebody come and help me out with my lives for multiple reasons. It probably won't happen until I get at least like 500 views. Then I'll probably hire somebody to help me with my lives and read comments for me. But I kind of wish I had it now. 500 views per live videos. Okay, so blending it out. Kind of blending it upwards, right up towards the cheek. And then also blending around the eye too. Well, let me know. I might be able to help you. You're gonna have to move here to help me. I have somebody in mind, but again, I'm gonna wait until I get more viewers per live. Oh man, brightness is horrible. I'm looking at the image on YouTube. I'm going to just play around with something here. Image control. Right, isn't it? Okay, that is white balance. I don't want white balance. I need to lower down. It's a bit better. No, that's too bright. Okay, sorry, I'm just playing around with the lighting here. Or not the lighting, the cameras. Okay, that's better. Man, it doesn't look too good on YouTube. Anywho. So circular motions and light pressure, we're just trying to build up to match the shades that we see and create the shapes from the different shades. This is like the sculpting part of drawing 2D. And yes, I know the chin doesn't look like it belongs to the rest of the face at this point, but we are going to be working on that, and yeah, it is going to come together. Just trust the process. Okay. Let's go in between adding more, blending it out, adding more, blending it out slowly until it gets to where we want it to be. I think this cheek is good for now. We're going to add some freckles after we've done everything else. I'm going to use my knead eraser and kind of shape it to match the highlight that's just right between the nose and the lip. And then we're just dabbing and picking up. I'm going to use a sharper edge of the knead eraser and drag it across that highlight right there. Just kind of helps sculpt it a bit. We probably won't be able to do too much until we get the shadows and highlights of, I don't know what the name of it is called, but the space between the nose and the lips. I think we won't be able to get it exactly the way we want it. I'm going to go into some of my darker pencils for this. starting with the 6B pencil, which will probably be a 4B pencil for you. It depends on the set you get. We're doing light pressure and circular motions. We're trying to use the side of the pencil as best as we can instead of using the very tip of the pencil. Okay, I need to get a printer so I can print out my picture references. And I don't think it really matters if it's a high-end printer or not. I don't have a very high-end printer. In fact, I think I got a printer that was on sale from Boxing Day. But if you don't have a printer, if you have like an extra larger screen device, like a tablet or a computer, that would work too. We're gonna slowly build up. I think I need to fix the lip a little bit. To bring the lip line up. It's ever so slightly too small. So I'm gonna bring that up a little bit. I'm trying to just blend in the areas that I added. I'm trying to preserve as much of those highlighted areas as best as I can. And we're going to use our darkest pencil. Mine is the 14B. You probably have an 8B. There's like a triangular shaped shadow here. That's quite a bit darker than the rest. And let's define that highlight a little bit better now. I'm gonna flatten a piece of the knead eraser, and I'm gonna use the sharper edge of it, and we're gonna go right where that bright line is between the highlights and the shadow and just drag it down. Drag it down. And then after that, we can dab and pick up a little bit more pressure on the closest to the edge, and then just a little bit less pressure as we're kind of going out. There's a very sharp edge around the lip line. So I'm gonna roll the knead eraser into like a point so it kind of resembles the tip of a pencil. And I'm going to drag it around the top. Just trace the very top of the lip line. Okay, it is time for a break, and then we'll be back till 12:30 Mountain Time. So we have an hour and a half from now before we say goodbye. Hopefully we can get it done today and then move on to a new piece, which is going to be a colored pencil drawing. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Sorry, there's a couple of things I need to fix before I move on. Sorry. Let me get back into this if I can. Come on.
Vinci Eye uses your phone's camera feed and lays a transparent picture that you want to draw over that camera feed. If you look at your phone's screen, you'll be able to see both the picture that you want to draw and the place where you want to draw it at the same time. This lets you easily trace an image onto any surface. To get started, you need to place your phone on top of a tall glass. If your phone doesn't have a case, it might slide around when you touch it. This makes adjusting settings while you're drawing very difficult. To fix this, cut a long piece of tape and fold it into a loop. Place the tape loop on top of your glass, and this will stop the phone from moving around. You can also place a tape loop on the bottom of your glass to stop the glass from moving around. If you're a lefty or a righty, it doesn't matter. You can position the phone any way that is easiest for you to draw. The higher that your phone is positioned, the more of the canvas you'll be able to see and the larger the picture you will be able to draw. Tall aerosol spray cans work great, or you can use one of our Vinci Eye phone stands, which lets you easily adjust the height and position of your phone. Links to these stands can be found in the app. Now it's time to position the image on your paper. Press the move button, and using one finger you can pan the image. Using two fingers, you can zoom, shrink, and rotate the image. When the move button is unpressed, the camera will be locked together with the reference image. This lets you zoom out to see your drawing as a whole, or zoom in so you can draw fine details. To make your image more or less transparent, you can use the opacity slider. Move the slider to the left to make your picture more transparent, and to the right to make it less transparent. If you find that your pencil or paper is blurry as you're drawing, you can adjust the focus of your camera by pressing Tools, then Camera, and then Fix Focus. To record a time lapse, like this one while you draw, press Tools, then scroll all the way to the right, press the Record option, and then press the Record On switch. One of the most powerful tools in the app is the strobe feature. This strobes the image on and off so that you can compare color values and you can see places where you still need to draw. In addition to the multiple filters in the Filters tab, There is also the breakdown feature in the breakdown tab. This breaks down your image into layers by color value. For beginners, it turns your photos into a draw by numbers project. Or for advanced artists, it can help you analyze the structure and composition of what you are about to draw or paint. If you need help with anything, you can always press the help question mark in the top right-hand corner of the screen. From there, you can watch instructional videos, check out our frequently asked questions, and even email us. We usually respond to emails extremely fast, and we love to hear from artists and aspiring artists using our app. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest to see instructional videos and demos of how to use all of the amazing features that are in Vinci Eye.
Get started with AR mode, you will need to create an anchor. An anchor locks your reference image in place, so you can move your phone or your canvas, and as long as the anchor is in the camera's view, your reference image will align itself back perfectly with what you are drawing. To get started, take a business card sized piece of paper or larger. Then take a black marker and do your best Jackson Pollock impression. Make a lot of squiggles with many intersecting points and different shapes. The more tiny little details, the better. The larger you make your anchor, the further away from your canvas you can have the phone and still have accurate placement. It's a good idea to tape your anchor in place on your paper before you draw. This ensures that your reference image will always be in the right place. You should be prompted to make an anchor right away. However, if you want to make a new anchor, press Tools, then AR, then Anchors. To upload your anchor, press Add Anchor in the top right corner of the screen. Press the purple button at the bottom of the screen to bring up the camera. Make sure your camera is perfectly level with the anchor. You don't want to have it tilted like this or like this, or else it could distort your overlay image when it is projected onto your paper. When you're finished taking a picture, press the OK button at the bottom right corner of the screen. Next, you need to crop your anchor. Drag the corners of the cropping frame to the edges of your anchor. Make sure there is no background visible. Then, press Crop at the top right corner of the screen. The last step is to measure your anchor. Make sure that it is at least 3.5 inches or 8 centimeters wide. Now press Done. Now press Use Anchor. Your image should now appear on top of the anchor whenever the anchor is in view. Do not hold the phone in your hand and try to draw. You can easily make a stand out of objects found around your house, like with tape and a tall glass, tape and a tall spray can. You can also purchase an inexpensive stand like this one. A link to stands that we recommend can be found in the app. If your camera is not in focus, press Tools, then Camera, and then Fix Focus. This will refocus the camera to your paper. Your image will appear in the center of your anchor. To position your image on your paper, use 2 fingers to zoom out so you can see your paper as a whole. Then press the Move button, and using 1 finger, you can pan your image. Using 2 fingers, you can enlarge, shrink, and rotate your image. When you're done, make sure to press the Move button again to lock the image in proportion so you can zoom in to draw fine details, or you can zoom out to see your drawing as a whole. Now you can adjust the opacity. Press the opacity button in the bottom right corner of the screen to make the image more or less transparent. To apply image filters, go to Tools, then Filters, and then press the Filters button. Filters can make your image easier to draw by helping you see different elements more clearly. You can also use the Breakdown tool by going to Tools, then Breakdown, and then Setup. This lets you break down your image into layers by color value. This is great for turning any image into a paint by numbers tutorial, or if you're an advanced artist, it can help you analyze the no-tan or structure and composition of your artwork. To use the strobe feature, go to Tools, then Strobe. This tool slowly flashes the overlay image on and off, allowing you to easily compare color values of your reference image to your drawing. This is one of the most powerful tools in the entire app. To get to the last absolutely need to know feature, press Tools, then slide all the way to the right and press Record. Then turn the record switch on. This lets you record awesome time lapses of your artwork without the overlay, just like this one. Make sure if you post your time-lapse videos on social media to tag us at Vinci Eye for a repost. If you need help with anything, you can always press the help question mark in the top right corner of the screen. From there, you can check out our frequently asked questions, watch instructional videos, and even email us. We usually respond extremely fast to emails and love to hear from artists and aspiring artists using the app. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest to see instructional videos and demos how to use all the awesome features Vinci Eye has built in.
Okay, welcome back. I hope you guys had a good break. You can comment throughout the video. It's a good time to comment now because I'm just going to talk a little bit. My name's Charity Low. I am not the app developer. I am just one big fan of the app. I've been working with the app since 2019. And just started, well, I started working with them, like for them for 5 years and counting. So that's who I am. I am skilled with portrait art. I mastered portrait art, which is people portraits and pet portraits in pencil, graphite pencil and colored pencil. But with these lives, I am open to whatever you want to try out. So I can do different mediums like soft pastels, pens, watercolors, acrylics, you name it, I can do it. I could also do wood burning, fabric painting, stained glass painting, quilling. There's quite a few things that I've done. If I haven't done it before, I am more than happy to do some research on it and you do that for the future. Or even if you want to just do a study, let's say of hair, eyes, noses, and stuff like that, I'm okay doing some videos like that as well. I'm also willing to draw portraits of references that are yours. So if you want me to do that, I am also willing to give you the drawing that I've done for these lessons and send them to you for free at the end of it. So if that's something that interests you, just send me an email and also a link to the image that you want me to draw. Make sure you keep it PG. This is on YouTube where a bunch of kids can be watching. So yes, and even then I don't do portraits like that anyway. So, but I don't want to see anything little, and I have, and it's just don't, please. Also, if you want to have your artwork featured in a future slideshow, just send me an email and I can make another slideshow adding your stuff to it as well. And I would really appreciate that because I think it's super fun to have a little slideshow of other people's artwork that they've made by using the app. I strongly recommend joining the Facebook group. I do competitions and challenges with cash prizes on a yearly basis. So yeah, that's a really good opportunity for you, not just for the challenges and competitions, but also just getting to know some other artists and getting some extra help from them. I'm there, I check it daily. So yeah, that's a good place to get a hold of me too. If you don't have the app and you're interested in trying the app, you can use the promo code that's in the description to try it for free for an entire year. That one is for iOS. If you have Android, please email me and I'll get you your own one-time use personal code for Android. I don't know why they do that. They just do that. It'd be nice if I could just be, anybody can just use the same code, but they just had to make my life more difficult. And then other than that, I think that's it. My email is in the description. So let's get started. So I'll be on live till 12:30. Maybe a little less than that. We'll see. Hopefully I can get this drawing done today because it's about time for me to move on to the next one. The next one is going to be a colored portrait of a cat. Okay, let's work on the chin. And then the jawline too. So it is pretty dark. I think I might go straight to the 6B just to build it up a little bit, and then we can add more if we need to. So we're using circular motions, light pressure, holding the pencil at the end instead of the tip, and trying to use the side of the pencil as best as we can. I'm just going to fill in the entire area with the 6B pencil because it is a pretty dark area. Now I'm just going to use a tissue wrapped around my finger and blending it in, smoothing it out. Right now she looks like a marionette. And then we're going to go in with the 14B, this is the softest pencil I have, the darkest one. You might have an 8B. I'm going to start off with the really dark sections. Circular motions, light pressure. The end of the pencil is where we're holding it and trying to use the side of the pencil, not the tip. And I'm just blending all over, even in the lighter area. I'm just pushing it all in there too. Okay, now she's not looking like a marionette. It's starting to fix, blend in nicely. I just want to see something. Now I'm focusing more on the reference photo for this last little bit here. I'm just trying to sculpt it. That's what we're doing. We're sculpting an image, a 2D image, to make it look like it's a 3D image. So Raven, if I get this done here pretty soon, I have a couple of options for what we're going to do next. Oh, do you know what I forgot to do? I was so busy with stuff. I forgot to change the thumbnail for this video. Anyways, so the options are, one, we go straight into the colored pencil drawing. Or two, just quickly see the other drawing that I've been working on lately. Or, oh, there's a third option. We could just call it a day once this one's done. But I do think I'm going to get this done here before 12:30. Now let's work on the jawline and the neck. We can just do that last section there for her. I think just underneath her chin, I think that's her mom's hair. So we're gonna do that part last. So I'm gonna start with the 6B, which is my second softest pencil I have. It might be a 4B for you. So I'm holding it at the end of the pencil, trying to use the side of the pencil instead of the tip of the pencil, and just doing circular motions. Taking the tissue paper, wrapping it around my finger, and I'm just blending it everywhere. Just pushing it into everything. I'm going to try to get rid of that obvious separation between the cheek that we did and the chin. So that's just going to come with more layers. So just trust the process. Are you still here, Raven? What do you want? What do we want to do after I'm done this? Because I really do think I'm going to get this done here pretty quick. So now I'm using the 14B, the softest pencil I have. The most common pencil you might have is the 8B. So you probably, if you're looking at my hand, you'll see that I'm holding my pencil in a very unique way. Usually when I'm trying to use the side of the pencil, I hold it at the very end, holding it fairly normal, like a regular thing. But with my smaller pencil, I kind of hold it from the top, just so I can still get that side of the pencil. I'm going to turn off the strobe temporarily. I'm going to turn off the strobe temporarily and then have it so I can see my pencil. Just change the opacity until I can see my pencil. I want to be able to get the line of the shape of the chin and the neck. So I'm gonna grab my mechanical pencil and just lightly trace. I'm actually tracing on the darker side, if that makes any sense. So I'm tracing just outside, just barely outside of the jawline and the neck. I didn't blend that last layer of graphite, but I'm gonna blend it now. There's still an obvious section separating our cheek versus our jawline. So I'm gonna try to keep working on that so that it blends out a little bit better. So I'm going to still take that 14B, go into those really, like the slightly lighter areas underneath where we were working on the cheek. Don't need to add too much more because I think we're getting there. I think we're getting to the point where it's not obvious that we did it in different sections. There we go. Can you tell? Can you see can you tell if it was done in different sections, or do we think we got that fixed? Turning the strobe back on and increasing the opacity to its fullest so we can see the differences. Just underneath that jawline. Still needs to be darker. In fact, the whole neck practically needs to be darker. But really dark right underneath that jawline. Really dark. Not black, but dark. And then I'm just going to do some lighter pressure and slowly get lighter and lighter as I go down. Using that tissue paper. This time I'm like the darkest area, I'm just following that jawline and then just circular motions on the way down. We'll look at this. I might want to bring it up onto something else. Let's see. No, that's good. Okay. I'm going to bring some of that graphite right down to the bottom of that jawline and the very edge of the neck. I don't like the shape, so I'm just still playing around with it. Okay. And I think we are ready to do the rest of the hair from the mom. Just see what we can see. There's a really dark triangle here. I'm going to start with the really dark sections. And we're following the direction of the hair. We are picking up the pencil every time we do a stroke. We are not doing zigzags. Do not do zigzags. The lines do not have to go all the way from the top to the bottom. And we're also trying to find the shapes that we can see created by the sections of hair that are different shades. That's what we're doing. I think I made that a little bit too high. I'm just trying to slightly lift that up without losing too much of that graphite. Went a little bit too high for that right there. Not that that matters too much with hair. If you don't have it exactly in the right placement, it doesn't really matter. I am just a perfectionist. Everything has to be perfect or it's not perfect at all. And my process or my thinking with art, with photorealistic art, is it has to be exact. I'm a little bit insane. But again, I'm telling you now, it really doesn't matter too much for getting the placement exactly for hair. So picking up the pencil every time I make a stroke, no zigzagging, following the curvature of the hair. We don't want straight lines, especially when they start. You don't want to overlap straight lines because it just doesn't look right. So now I'm going to take the blending stump and soften up those lines, still going in the direction of the hairs and also picking up every single time I make a stroke. I'm going to use the second softest pencil I have. And just define that chin a little bit more while I'm here. Not putting a lot of pressure on to make this line here, but I just really want to be able to bring that hair up really close so that it does look like it's coming from behind of the chin, behind the chin. Do, 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 do. Try to bring those lines right up to the chin. And we are using the tip of the pencil for this. We are holding it closer to the tip of the pencil, and we're using the tip of the pencil because we want a nice sharp lines. I'm just working on the shadows of the shirt here too, as I noticed that it needs to be a little bit more darker. For that little bit there, I'm using the tissue paper just to soften it out. Okay, going back to the blending stump, blending in those lines we put down for the hair, going in the same direction, and also picking up and putting down every stroke, not going back and forth like a zigzags. I'm going to kind of go across that chin, the jawline. And then let's just keep layering it until we're satisfied. I'm now focusing more on the drawing itself. I'm watching the drawing so I can get a nice close to the chin and jawline as possible for those lines, because I want to be more accurate with this, just for the placement, that's all. Like, we want to really bring up those lines right up to the edge of the chin. I'm going back in with the darker pencil. It's a 14B. Should probably be an 8B for you. Just trying to get some more dark sections in here. Just darken it up a little bit more. Okay. Taking the blending stump, again going in the same direction as the hair, also picking up every time we make a line. But you don't have to worry about going from up to down or down to up, as long as you're picking up the pencil or the blending stump every single time. Taking the mono eraser and grabbing a few highlights. Just pulling it up to get some highlights. Still picking it up every single time you put it down. Picking up the eraser. There's still a tiny little section left. I'm going to start with the 6B. And this is more of a blurred. Let's turn off the strobe for now, because I want to try to get the shapes right. And then we're going to decrease the exposure until we can see the pencil. I'll be able to see the pencil nice and clear. But we also want to see the drawing as much as possible too. Or not the drawing. We want to see the reference photo as much as possible, but we do want to see where our pencil's going. So, yeah, just nice and soft, because it isn't very sharp in here. It's pretty blurry. And it definitely needs to be much darker. So I'm just going to fill in the entire area. And then I'm going to take the tissue paper, wrap it around my finger, and I'm just going up and down. Just I'll add a little bit more where I feel like it needs to be added to get it darker. Okay, just want to make sure everything is okay because stuff is happening. Not very much stuff. Just checking a few things, personal stuff for a second there. Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure things are okay. Okay, one last look. Oh, I remember what we did, what we forgot. We forgot to do some freckles on her. So you can take a blank piece of paper and the softest pencil you have, and we're going to just draw really dark on a spare piece of paper. Take our small blending stump, rub it on there, and lightly put some freckles on her. You can get some of the really obvious darker ones on there and get the placement on there pretty, like, get the placement on there pretty accurately. So the ones that are bigger or a little darker, try to get those ones as accurately as possible. Because sometimes, like Marilyn Monroe, they have an obvious beauty mark in an obvious space, and it does make a difference in the placement. But all those other freckles, you can just be a little bit more random with. I'm just pretty much just pushing the blending stump on. I'm not doing any circular motions. I'm just tapping the blending stump on there. And I'm going to take the tissue paper and just lightly go over those little marks. Very, very lightly. I'm not pushing in too hard. Just want to soften them up so they look like they're more on the skin than just kind of like over top, if that makes any sense. We want it to be embedded in the skin. Okay, what should we do next? Because I think we're good. Just want to get this a little bit more darker. Where's that 14B? Where did it go? It was here. There it is. I think I need to get this a little darker still. So looking at it as a whole, I'm going to turn the strobe back on. The image is still pretty light compared to the reference photo. I am just going to do some really obvious sections. I might actually, let me just take a look. Maybe it's just the lighting, how close it is. Might be the lighting. Oh, no, I broke my pencil. Oh, at least it's a shorter pencil. So I'm just focusing on it. Just focus. Okay. I see a spot that can be fixed a little bit. Taking the 6B. This can be, there's not so much of a highlight right here, so I'm gonna and then blend it. How is the lighting? Okay. This section can be a little darker. I think I'm just going to stick with the 6B to do this. This is our last look over before we call it good. Cheek could be fixed up a little bit more too. Oh, the lighting is not looking so good in some angles. And her chin is a little bit too light. The mom's chin. I'm going to add a little bit more on top of that to make it not so bright. Okay, how is it looking? The eyelashes can be ever so slightly darker on the little girl's eyes, including the bottom lashes. I know it's a filter, but I'm going to do it anyways. Same with the mom. Eyelashes can be a bit darker in some areas. Okay, I think it's pretty good. It's not perfect. Maybe just one more layer on the little girl's face. Okay, I could be working on this forever. I'm gonna call it quits. And that is one thing that's one thing that an artist gets to choose, is when to quit. Especially with photorealistic stuff. You can go on forever. So I'm signing the bottom right corner. I'm going to take this apart. And you want to know something? The lady who requested me to draw this is going to come by today to drop off my son, because she's the babysitter of my son. Here's a little tip. I'm just going to move this out of the way so you guys can see. So to prevent the tape from tearing the page, I like to pull it to the side, away, close to, like, flat against the table. It helps prevent the tape from ripping the paper. So then do the same to this side. Oh, there was an extra piece of tape on there. And we just pull it flat against the table. That's my little trick, my little tip for you. Another thing that some people have said is that if you take like a hairdryer or a heat gun and just warm up the tape, it will also come off easier and prevent it from ripping. Another thing that I'm going to show you is that I like to sign the back. Sign the back with a permanent marker, like a pen. I like Sharpie pens, not permanent marker. I like Sharpie pens for this, but I instead of just doing the front of it on the bottom right, which you don't even have to put it at the bottom right. You can have it somewhere hidden in the drawing. It's also part of your artistic license. I put the date of it being finished, which is it the 30th? January 30, 2026 by, and then I print out my name. And then I sign one more time. And I do this roughly in the center of the drawing. I will tell you why. When I first started doing commissions, I did about 20 drawings for this one person in particular, from the other side of the country that I live in. And he had removed my signature. I made a mistake of using something other than pen for one, but they could also crop out the image. They crop out the signature on the bottom. So I also do in pen on the back in the center. So they can't crop it out to claim it to be theirs. So they took off my signature, they put their own signature on it, and they resold it as theirs. And it makes me still angry to this day. So this is why I do that. So that's done. I will show you what we're going to be working on next, and I'll tell you what materials you're going to want. So I am going to contact them to make sure that they're still wanting me to do this, for one. But we're going to be working on this one right here. I will be posting it in the features of the the featured post in the Facebook group and on my personal Facebook page, Charity Lowe's Art, as well as in my profile. So how you find my profile, let me just show you here. You go to the app main page. There's 3 purple lines on the top left. You click that. Go search profiles, and then you type in my name, Charity Lowe's Art. It'll pop up. You'll see a lot of my drawings that I've done and other crafts and stuff. And then if you go where the light bulb is, you will see a whole bunch of references, stencils that I've made. And also you can find the references for the live videos as well. So yeah, that's where you look for it. What we're going to be needing next week is an 11 by 14 inch. I'm using Bristol board paper, but something smooth and thick is what we're going to want to use. And a pencil set. I'm going to be using Faber-Castell. They do work differently than Prismacolor, but I do not expect you to have the exact same pencil set as I do. I'll be trying to do methods that will work for any pencils, just so you know. So I'll try to refrain from using particular color names and just kind of give you a descriptive name of what it is. So like really dark red, or kind of like aqua blue or something that's very generic. So don't worry about getting the exact pencil set. I will show you what I have though, what I'm going to be using. So this is the one I'm going to be using. But yeah, we don't have to worry about having it the exact same. Please don't spend a lot of money on something if you don't know if you're going to like it or not. So that's my tidbit. Try with cheaper materials. You get really good with the cheaper materials, and then you get with the better materials. And hello. Hi, sweetheart. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. I'm almost done. Yeah, I'm going to contact this person. Oh, do I even have requests? Okay, they are on there. They're there. Okay. I gotta contact them later. Let's go into, I'm gonna show you what I'm working on. I'm actually using a different pencil set for the one that I'm gonna show you that I'm working on. So I'm very close to being done this one. Very, very close. So this one is a wedding photo of me and my husband, and I'm doing this for a Valentine's special. I did some other stuff for Valentine's Day. I did a bunch of cards with making them into watercolor pages for the kids. I also did a stained glass Valentine's themed stained glass painting too, and you will see those later. But yeah, this is one that I've been working on off. Well, I am going live every day that I'm working on TikTok and my Facebook and Twitch as well. But actually, I think I'll just call it a day. I'll call it a day for today. I will probably pop on live on my personal stuff on TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch, all under charitylowsart later. But for now, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. And oh, are you trying to do a delivery? Okay. Thank you so much for all the support. I hope to see you next week. And yeah, we're doing colored pencils. Yeah, I'm not really good with ending. But anyways, see ya.